Hey friends, welcome to Mindful Chatting on our Consultation Saturdays series. Today, I want to ask you a question that might feel a little uncomfortable. Who is running your practice? Like, not your LLC, but I mean internally. And we might stand up and go, Me, I'm running it, right? Well, because a lot of therapists think that they're making all of the business decisions, but what's actually happening is different parts of them are taking turns driving it. And depending on which part is in control, your practice will look very different. And some days you feel confident and clear, and you know your mission and you know what you're doing. And then other days you may be second guessing absolutely everything that you're thinking. And then some days you want to grow and you want to expand and you want to get bigger. And then some days you're going to want to avoid absolutely everything. And trust me, this may look like inconsistency, but it's absolutely not. That's these internal parts taking over at different times of your business. So, today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the different parts that are commonly running your therapist practice and how to show up in those decisions and how to move into self leadership instead of these part driven chaos.
Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpacked mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat.
So we tend to think I just need to be more consistent, right? Or the reality is you don't have one consistent self. And I think that's true for a majority of people. You have multiple internal parts that are going on, and these parts have different fears, and they also have different goals and different strategies for how you create safety within yourself. And this is rooted in parts based models like internal family systems. And when you don't recognize these parts of yourself that are coming into your business, they will run your business without realizing it. So let's talk about the inner critic therapist. This one is absolutely loud. Well, at least for me. And this part can kind of sound like you're not doing enough, or you should be further along in this. You've been here so long. Why haven't you expanded more? You don't really know what you're doing, even though you think you do, but you're just really an imposter in design, right? Or other therapists are doing this way better than you, or other therapists are doing it like this. Shouldn't you be doing it like that? This part often kind of pushes you around, and it actually pushes you to overwork, overthink, and overcorrect. And it can look productive at times, but underneath it is just fear of just not being good enough. Then there's also this imposter part of us. And this part shows up very differently, but it doesn't push, it actually shrinks. It does the quite opposite of our critic. So, this imposter part may sound like, who do you think you are being able to open your own private practice? You're definitely not qualified for this. Or you shouldn't be teaching this yet. You don't know enough. You need to do another continuing education about this. You are not masterful enough to be able to help people. So, instead of overworking, this part actually makes you avoid posting, avoid even launching, or even avoid showing up. This is why so many clinicians actually stay stuck and do not open their private practice. Not because they don't have ideas, boy, do we have a lot of them, but because this part actually blocks visibility for you as a therapist and your practice.
For any clinicians tuning in, if insurance billing is the part of your practice that drains your soul, Headway will be your best friend. They get you credentialed, send you referrals, manage your billing, submit your claims, all the stuff none of us went to grad school for. It's free to join, and honestly, it's been a huge support for therapists who want to take insurance without drowning in the administration part. My link is in the show notes if you want to check it out.
Now let's talk about the over-responsible rescuer. This one is an all-time favorite. This one feels good at first, and then the part goes, I need to help everyone. Everyone who reaches out to me, I need to make sure I can have time in my schedule to get to them. I cannot raise my rates or people won't be able to afford therapy. I should take this client even if I'm full. I need to work outside of my hours so that I can be able to help this person. Now, this leads to overbooking yourself, a lot of burnout, and these blurry boundaries that you're not keeping internally for yourself, and then we're transposing them onto our clients. And eventually, this will lead to resentment in our business. And this part is often rooted in identity as the helper that we need to be in, or fear of letting people down, or maybe difficulty tolerating this discomfort that we're feeling because we can't be everything for everyone. Now, I want to talk about the avoidant entrepreneur. And this one is kind of sneaky. It shows up when things feel really overwhelming, and instead of pushing or shrinking, it actually disconnects. This can look like, "Ugh, I'll just do it later," or "I don't even know where to start to even do this," or "I'll just scroll," or hang out on my couch before the next client comes in. So, this is where we can avoid our finances, avoid marketing ourselves, avoid maybe creating better systems for better flows, and also our growth decisions when it comes to our practice and as a therapist. And then we feel behind, and that feeds that inner critic. So, why is this all creating chaos for us? If you've ever felt like, I don't know why I'm so inconsistent, this is probably why. Because one day the critic is running things and it's on top of stuff and it's productive, right? And then the next day, the imposter comes in and shuts you down. And then the rescuer overextends yourself because you feel guilty for shutting down. And then the avoidant part pulls you out of it. That's not a strategy problem. That's a self-leadership problem. We need to understand when your parts are showing up and how do we regulate ourselves during these times.
Here's a quick note for my clinicians listening. If you're looking for a charting and practice management system that doesn't make you want to scream, well, guess what? I use TherapyNotes. It's clean, reliable, HIPAA compliant, and honestly saves me hours every week. You can try it with my link in the show notes.
So let's talk about self-leadership. Now, self-leadership, just like in internal family systems, is not about getting rid of our parts. It's actually just recognizing them and recognizing when they show up. And we need to decide, and I hear you, but you're not driving right now. And I thank you for showing up and I thank you for keeping me safe, but you're actually not helping me. I need to trust myself in this. A grounded self sounds like I can feel the pressure to overwork, but I'm going to choose sustainability today. I notice I want to avoid this, but I'm going to take one small step at a time. Or one small thing I can do about it right now without having to tackle the whole thing. I hear a lot of doubt in myself, but I'm still going to try to show up. It's calm, it's clear, and definitely not reactive. So let's start practicing this. Let's name the part first. I just gave you a couple of examples that I personally deal with, but I'm sure there's other parts in you that show up. So instead of, I don't want to do this, let's try my avoidant part is showing up. Let's just identify it. It also creates this distance in that this isn't really who I am or who I want to be. This is just a part of me that's trying to help me with this discomfort. And then let's get curious instead of critical about our part. We need to ask, why is this part even trying to protect me? And what is it trying to protect me from in the first place? Because every part, remember, has a purpose. So there's a reason why this inner critic's coming in. There's a reason why this imposter syndrome's coming in. And we need to figure out through curiosity, whether asking the part itself or looking around and going, well, I'm overloaded. So maybe that's why this rescuer part is going to come in and going, you need to keep going, right? And let's not make the decision. So you can feel the fear and you can still act. You can feel doubt and you can still move. Sometimes when we're in our parts, we want to make drastic decisions, but sometimes we just need to recognize that this part is instilling a feeling and emotion, and it's really uncomfortable. So what I would ask yourself is, let's regulate before we make decisions. Let's identify the part. Ask why it's here, what's going on, so that we can regulate, so that we're actually making consistent and sustainable decisions for our true self. And then we need to build small little kind of self-led actions. Not, I'm going to fix everything today, or I'm going to create the most beautiful system for my business today. Instead, I'm going to do one thing that feels aligned with my values today. I'm going to do one thing that supports grounding myself or sustaining my business. That's how you build leadership internally for yourself. If you're realizing how much internal patterns impact your business, this is something I'm going deeper into as I build out resources and contents for clinicians who are going through this struggle just like you. Because building a practice isn't just about strategy, it's actually our psychology, the thing we went to school for, which is nice because that's what feels familiar to us, right? And if you don't understand your internal system, you'll keep kind of recreating these same patterns. Remember, your practice is not just a business, it's an extension of your internal world. And if different parts of you are running it, you'll feel that instability. And when you start leading from a grounded place, things don't just become clearer, they become way more sustainable, which was the reason why you wanted to start a private practice in the first place. You wanted to feel more grounded, you wanted to be able to feel more in control. And we do that internally so that we can show up sustainably. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope this was helpful in kind of understanding yourself as we dive into this private practice on these consultation Saturdays. If there's any topics that you're interested in understanding when it comes to opening up your private practice, please drop them in the comments, and I'll do videos and consultations on them as we move forward. And as always, be gentle with your mind.
One more thing before you go, and this helps me personally, staying present and grounded, which we all need, especially when your brain wants to spiral into disconnection. Me too. It's Brain FM. It's musically designed to help ADHD brains, well, really anyone's brain, focus, relax, or sleep, and I use it almost daily. If you want to try it, I've dropped my link in the show notes. And if you're looking for planning tools or ADHD-friendly resources, I'll keep a list of my favorite links in every episode.